Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Friday, and welcome to the episode 2 of the Devtorium podcast. I'm your host, Abhishek Jain, Chief Innovation and the Product Officer, also an investor and the partner at Devtorium. And today is a special day. I'm super excited. Today, I'm joined by our CEO, Tom Bredon. Please meet Tom.
Thanks, Abhishek. I appreciate it. And hi, everyone out there. Really happy to be here and looking forward to this conversation. Bear with me. This is my first podcast we've ever put together that I've ever been involved in as well. So Abhishek has coached me through it. So hope this goes really well. As Abhishek mentioned, I'm Tom Bredon, CEO of Devtorium. I was actually one of the company's first clients about 20 or so years ago. Stepped into the CEO role about 6 years ago and been having a great time ever since. Again, thanks for having me here today and look forward to this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom, for the introduction. In this episode today, we'll be diving into some really important topics that actually define who we are as a company, the value our former clients have found in working with Deftorium, our strategy, our culture, and why we believe we stand out in the market. What's our competitive differentiation? Because it's a pretty crowded market and there is a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of brainstorming we have done just to make sure we uniquely position in this market. So before we jump in, I'm going to ask everyone, please don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and whatever streaming platform you're listening to us so you do not miss out on the future episodes. And one last thing, in today's episode, there is something unique we have done. We have hidden a little Easter egg. I know Easter is a little far out there, but in today's episode, we have hidden a little Easter egg, which means that somewhere in the conversation, I'm going to mention a promotion code. You catch that, you write it down, and once this episode is over and we publish it sometime, like next week or something, just go to our website, fill up the form, schedule a call with our sales manager, mention that promotion code, and you are going to get a Amazon gift card worth $200 along with a free consultation with one of our experts. So stay with us till the end and make sure you do not miss that promotion code. So now that we are done with the introduction, let's dive right into it. So Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you were doing before, your journey, your career, your life before coming to Deftorium.
Sure. Glad to. So before joining Devtorium, my career path took me through a few different parts, primarily in the financial services world. I actually started my career quite some time ago, actually in the mortgage banking business. I worked data center operations, data center manager. These are back in the late 1990s, so things were really kind of getting ramped up, if you will, from an infrastructure standpoint. Things are a lot different back then. But I was right in the middle of the technology side, the part that kept everything running, the backbone, of technology. From there, I moved on to internet banking back when it was still really new, still in its infancy, which gave me really a front row seat into how fast innovation can reshape an industry. I don't know how many of you folks were around back then, but when internet banking first started, it took off really quick. And within a couple of years, everyone's using the internet to do their banking with. So it was a very fast paced, technology sector to be in and actually to start my career, if you will. Later on, I transitioned to the legal side of mortgage operations. That gave me a completely different perspective on risk, compliance, and how the business operates beyond just the technology piece of things. It was during that time that I was first introduced to Devtorium, and I immediately saw the value of the team and the expertise that they brought to solving really complex problems. That connection eventually grew into me taking on the CEO role here. It's been a very exciting journey ever since.
Amazing.
So, Abhishek, how about you? Now tell us a little about yourself, your background, your career path. What have you been up to?
Sure. So, I mean, it's been 30 years in the industry, but I'm probably gonna stick to what's relevant, to this podcast. So, quickly fast forward, started my career just like any tech programmer. 2004, my career in the IT management started. I was CTO of an incentive company. Left there, joined another company, and that's where I met. Deftorium is grandfather into where we are today, but the company started with a whole different name, and I got to know the original founders in 2000, 2008, 2009. That's the time I was working for a company. I was building their tech, and we were looking for some, a really good, efficient, highly talented developers, and we were looking into several different companies, and then it's a funny story. I was introduced to the grandfather, the original founders, of whatever the name of the company was, by my wife. She's the one who said, you are looking for something, an outsourcing company, go talk to these guys, go talk to, the co-founders. And that's when I came to know about Devtorium. So yeah, we utilized their services for a few years. And then in 2013, 2014, I came up with a few startup ideas. I raised capital, my seed fund from the Watson families, and then I had several clients. And I was looking for a unique combination. Whenever people talk about cheap, fast, and good, and we always joke about, oh, just pick two, you can't pick three. In my experience, I kind of challenged that. I said, you know what? If I can figure out this whole outsourcing solution, maybe we can accomplish this inexpensive. Cheap is a bad word. So inexpensive, fast, which means agile, nimble, and good means high quality. So we figured out that unique combination. I traveled a lot to Ukraine at that time. I was building three different products. One was a MarTech solution, which was funnel optimization software. Marketers, you have a website, you want to optimize it for the higher acquisition and the retention and the optimization. That's the product that we built. We were building a hyper local social mobile app. That is used to figure out the atmosphere inside a venue. How many, what's the gender ratio, what's the mood, what's the sentiment. So I'm not going to talk about the product, but it was incredible combination. They were able to deliver two of my products in less than 6 months at a very low cost with the highest possible quality, that I was able to scale those companies very quickly. Within the first year, we were profitable. Within 4 years, I was able to sell. We got acquired by a NASDAQ listed company in 2017. So that in of itself speaks the success, of my startups, as well as what made me, what got me there. So I affectionately call our company kingmakers. They are the ones who can take your ideas, take your vision, how raw, how abstract it could be, but that they turn that into a real product. Very proud, very happy, how that whole journey started. 2018, then I took some time off after, working like crazy for 4 or 5 years. 6 months, I got bored. I said, I got to do something. I just can't be retired at, I'm just not even 45. So, and then I joined WeWork. It was an amazing experience working at the with the leadership of the WeWork in the headquarters, and the startup soul that company had, the entrepreneurial spirit that company had. Loved my time. It was short, about a year. And as soon as, I decided that maybe it's time for me to move on, I come back to Deftorium. I had an idea at that time, and that was very close to, what ChatGPT does. But my idea came 2 years before ChatGPT, and that was more of creating articles in a very structured format. Even what ChatGPT does, it gives you data, and then you have to go through 7, 8 different prompts to structure and format your content. My idea was that, step one click, and you have the entire thing ready. Whatever question you have, whatever research you're trying to do, you provide all the prompts at the beginning, and you get a finished product at the end. We did that. We got several thousand subscribers. We started building this product 2019. 2021, we had our product ready. We had several thousand subscribers. You and I were traveling to many conferences, and we were signing up subscribers left and right. Along came ChatGPT, and that kind of, we had to pivot into a whole different product at that time. So that's really the time. I was coming to Deftorium more as a consumer of their talent. And then Ted said, don't just, why don't we just buy your idea out? Come and join us. Build. We want to be different. We don't want to be just a software development company. We want to be a product company. We want to be different than anybody else. I came in with a very little investment, and then I joined the company as one of the execs and the partners. And I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more, I would just say, luck, which means, when talent hits the opportunity, I had the background, I had the experience. Here was the opportunity, and I just got lucky, extremely lucky, that I'm working with some of the world-class talented engineers in Ukraine. Their valor, the culture, the ethics, and just the abundance of talent that we have in our company. I'm proud. I'm really proud working with you and our CTO that I had a podcast before, Alexei Makarov, probably one of the smartest guys in the Euro, who has won I don't know how many hackathons. And every single person that we have in the team, they are the winners of top coder, some coding competitions, some kind of a hackathon. So super talented, super, ethical about what they do. And whatever the country is going through, they have the courage, they can absorb all that and still be able to wake up every day and do their work. So that's really my journey. I can go on and on, but let me take a pause here, and then now
I like,
let's
I'll interject there for 1 second
yeah.
to kind of reiterate that I think both of us were very lucky to be introduced to Devtorium so early on in our careers. I know you have as well, but I brought them in almost everywhere, every step I've made. My first thought, if I needed development work or help in that regard, was Devtorium every time. And they were there to help. Another reason I'm excited to be here, as you are too. So sorry for the interruption, but
No,
just
no,
wanted to
no,
make
no.
that point.
That's what this podcast is about. Keep interrupting. So, Tom, now that you start talking, I'm going to give you, I'm just going to throw something else at you. What do you think, now that we are talking so much about the company, the culture, the people, what you think are, because you are more close to clients than I am. I typically start the conversations, people that I meet, and then I just immediately hand everything over to you guys. I know it's going to be like all states going to be in good hands, with you all. But you'll probably answer this question in a different way. I'll also, probably take an attempt at it. What you think our client value most about working with Deftorium? Is forget about the country, forget about anything. Where they feel that they are being cared about, what's the value that they see in now working with us?
Sure. I mean, and you hit the nail on the head there that, once introductions are made, the rest of my team takes over there. We really do have a great sales team. We have a great pre-sales team. And our operations team is, beyond reproach. I stay very engaged with all of our clients. I think that relationship building is very, very important. And I think we'll talk about that some more later on in the podcast here. But, from my perspective, our clients, find a few things about working with Devtorium. First of all, we're just not another outsourcing vendor. We really do act as a true partner. That means that we take time to really understand their business goals, not just the technical requirements, but we're invested in helping them succeed long term. Their success is our success 100%. So we definitely spend time on that for sure. Second of all, maybe one of the most important is the combination of our U.S. presence and our development centers in Ukraine. It gives our clients just the best of both worlds, strategic alignment and cost efficiency without sacrificing quality at all. Our clients consistently tell us they appreciate the transparency we bring, whether it's in our pricing, communication, and even down to the delivery process. Finally, I'd say that they value the stability of our teams. I think we have one of the lowest turnover rates in the industry, which means clients can build real relationships with their developers, their project managers, their business analysts, the executives, whomever. Our people are here for a long term. Clients that we've had for 10, 12 years are dealing with some of the same people that they started with and that they bought into. That continuity is a huge, because it just shortens, onboarding of new clients. It preserves your institutional knowledge, if you will. And it really just builds trust. At the end of the day, I think, clients see Devtorium is a reliable extension of their own team. And that's what makes us stand out, I believe, for sure. So, Abhishek, you said before, you're definitely in touch with our clients as well. You spend time with them directly. Do you have any feedback, maybe different or the same, that you've personally heard from our clients?
Yeah. So, as you know, many of our clients that we work with today, almost 50% of those clients came through my, own network, my friends, my ex-colleagues, some cases my cousin. So many of people that I know well, they have come to me, friends who have been, I've known for the last 20 years. I asked them, I said, guys, you work with different companies. Now you're working with Devtorium. Forget about that. I made the introduction and now you're doing, this and that. What, give me like the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we could be better. What is it that we should absolutely stop doing and do something else? Where you feel that we are doing something, but we could be better, or, where we are like great. And one thing they said, which kind of, and I 100% agree with that. That was my main thing when I started working with Devtorium, is that I do not want to work with people who just take orders. I do not want to work with, developers or my business analysts, product analysts, project managers. I don't care at what level in my team you are. You could be the junior most engineer, or you could be the senior most UX developer or the architect. I want everyone to understand what is it that they are building. If you are writing that one line of code, if you are changing the color from orange to purple, what is the business reason behind it? Why are we doing whatever we are doing? What's the reasoning behind it? Don't just be, head down writing code and then you don't care what happens. So I just, that was my message to everyone that I hired in my team. At one point, I had like almost 48 developers in my team, and I was building Fusion. But I didn't have to say that again and again. I think that was just the culture. The other thing I love about working with Ukrainian developers is that they are not afraid to confront with you in a nice way, in a
Sure.
nice way. They wouldn't care. You could be the CEO, I could be the CTO, CPO, or the founder, or, title, blah, blah, blah. If they don't believe in you, they would say, you are wrong. And you have to convince them. It happens every day. I run marketing, you run sales. Every time I have to convince every member of my team that the other day, I was talking about that we got to do this, we got to do that. And they said, well, we don't agree. These are and they wrote like a 2-page document why I was wrong, So love that. Just love that collaboration, love that fearless culture, love that entrepreneurial spirit, love that, courage and creative thinking. They are not just sitting down and taking orders. So that is one big aspect for me. And it's just not because of me. It just, that's how they are. That's how they operate. So,
That's
so
just the
that's one.
transparency we talk about as well.
The,
I mean,
the,
that just goes right into that, right? I mean, they're
yeah,
very transparent, very
there's an
direct.
amazing book. Yeah, I read a while ago called Radical Candor. And that's what I see here. I see that radical, candor. I see that transparency. I see that honesty. And the one big thing I see, honesty and the ethics. These guys do not need supervision. You give them the work, they will do the work. They do not need to be monitored. They don't need to be micromanaged. They don't need to be even macromanaged. All they need is the task. They need information, what needs to be done, and the clear requirements, and they will just go on, do the work, come back, and the product is ready. Okay. That's the value I think our partners have seen, that we are just not an outsourcing company across the pond. We are really you're truly a team which is working with you day to day. They understand the task and the business as much as they do. And if they don't, they will keep on asking questions. So there is truly this relationship which I've heard time and over again. So that's one aspect, the transparency. Second thing I would say is how organized our company is. We do our stand-ups, we prepare documents. Every Friday we are sending updates, we are running meetings. There are no surprises. They make the whole thing so boring. There are just no surprises. Everything is out there, documentation, information, every 2-week demos. So there is just no hidden secrets. Today we are talking about Easter egg and there is something hidden here. When you work with us, there is absolutely nothing hidden. It's all out there for you to look at. Okay. So that's what, and that's why you would see so many of our clients, as you said, and as I see, look at us. We used to be the clients of this company, and then we joined the company, and look at, 50, 60, 70% of our client, somebody came through a reference. We have one client who was my co-founder of Fusion. We have one client who grew up right, next door where I live. We have one client who was my co-founder, another startup that I built, Trust. He came and joined, and, he built another company. So because the value, they see the value. And when people say, when you see the value, you feel obligated to go and spread the word. When you get that kind of treatment, you feel obligated that, oh my God, these guys are so good, I have to tell 5 other people. I did the same thing. My wife felt the same thing. She said, wow, these guys are good, I gotta tell my husband. She told me, I said, wow, these guys are good, I gotta go tell 5 other people. And that's how our company have grown from wherever we used to be, and where we are. So let me take a pause here. Let me reach out to our audience again. I hope you guys are, enjoying this. We are about, 10, 12 minutes into this, and we are, as you can see, the passion and the sparks in our eyes. So if you are listening right now, and if you have struggled with the vendors, with just taking orders instead of being completely vetted with you and understand what your business is about, come and just talk to us. Give us 5, 10 minutes. You will really see the value in the company. You will see what we are talking about. And I know we are talking about the $200 Easter egg. Talk to us, and we are going to give you a trailer, a sample of either, if you want to build a mobile app, we'll do a 2 weeks, worth of free prototyping, complimentary prototype work for you. We will do a free web audit for you if you're worried about your site acquisition, maybe a landing page, maybe a quick, UI, UX sample for you, or even a complimentary cybersecurity audit. We are a full shop which has all of these expertise. And before you even engage with us, just come and talk to us, and then we'll put something together for you, completely complimentary, just to show the amount of talent our company has. All right. So let me talk about something else. We talk about talent. We talk about our background. All those things are good, Tom. But what is our strategy? How are you? You are the CEO. I came in and I did my whatever I do, as a partner, whatever. But we look up to you for how are you going to make us different? What have you done to make us different? What is our competitive edge? What's our competitive differentiation from 20 million other companies which are out there, which claim the same thing that we do? Like, oh, we have the best talent, we are this, we are what you feel genuinely where we have done our best efforts to make ourselves genuinely unique.
Sure. And I'll back up into the response to your last one there as well. I feel your passion there. I feel the same way. And I think our listeners will see that too, that, we really believe in our people, and we do have a great team out there. We can't wait to share that with other folks. But you had mentioned about a lot of our clients come from referrals, and that is 100% accurate. And I think that really speaks volumes to the work that our folks do. I've taken them throughout my career. Jack, you've done the same. And then when I would leave a role and go somewhere else, more than likely Devtorium stayed there. Right. And then I went somewhere else, brought them in again. So referrals are a lot for us. And we nourish those client relationships because that's really our bread and butter. People tell someone else and tell someone else and tell someone else. It's really how we make our living.
Yeah.
To differentiate us from everyone else out there, I think there's several different things. I'll try not to get too long on this one, but we've been around for a long time. We're not a flash in the pan type pop up development firm. Our growth has been steady, and the company has grown where it needs to grow. We've got some more growth to do. We're looking at a growth pattern coming up, but we've maintained that feel. The niche that we're in, I think, to be small enough to be able to really be hands-on, client-centric. Get time with the CEO, get time with Abhishek, get time with all the people that are involved in the project. At the same time, handling larger projects and handling more projects. We've gained that expertise over the years. We've seen so many different industries. We've seen shifts in technology. We've seen so many different things, and we can build on that expertise to help future clients. So the first thing I would say here is partnerships. And we've mentioned it several times in here that we're not just order takers. We're not, just going to be task workers, if you will, but we're true partners. Our goal is to not do a project and just walk away from it. We're looking for, long-term engagements. We're looking for projects we can actually contribute to the success for our clients, and, our clients' success or our clients, our success, if you will. So, second of all, innovation.
I'm going to interrupt you
Yeah.
for a second because I just thought about this.
Sure.
What Tom is saying, and you might feel that we are a little crazy as a company, but we feel we get so invested sometimes in our clients, and some idea. We actually had one prospect, one lead. They came to us, they talked about their project, And we did not even feel like, we said, what you are trying to do, I don't think is going to be a success. I'm sorry, we are not going to take your project. So we are not just looking out there just to take any project. So that was one event where we said no to a project. And then there is another event. We were working, with a client, and we loved their idea so much. We were even willing to invest in that company. So we are not just a vendor. Sometimes we will be your accelerator. Sometimes we'll be your incubators. Sometimes we are just going to be a vendor. But take us as a value added vendor. We are not just a simple, just between me and Tom, we have 60 years of experience, include the original founder, that's 100 years. Look at, everybody. So we are not just here to take the project, pass it on to other people. Me and Tom personally, if we are into those, we are going to put our own mind share, because if you are successful, you will feel obligated. Then you find us, 5 other projects. And referral, I've been in marketing for almost like 18 years now. And of all the channels in marketing, referral marketing is the most genuine and most compelling channels. If you can really make if you can deliver more than you consume, that's the value that we believe in, that build something, give something back, then you are taking. And that's what we have tried to do, with our company, to the level where we have offered our clients that, oh, we love your idea, we are willing to invest. So to the point, we don't like your idea, we don't even want to take your project. So sorry, Tom, I just wanted to mention that. Please.
No, it's a great point. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up too. 100% agree with you. Along the lines of strategy, though, I think another line there is just innovation. We are dedicated, to staying current, researching emerging technologies, AI, automation, secured cloud solutions, all of that work that our people do, not only to keep them engaged and keep them current, though, but also to bring, the newer technologies to our clients, cutting edge, bleeding edge, if you want to. We spend a lot of time, investigating and researching and staying current on those technologies. We're not only here, providing, staff augmentation for existing projects. We can also do the entire development projects, because we can bring those technologies and those ideas. Many times we get clients who come in with full blown requirements, technical requirements, huge documents, if you will. Also, a lot of our clients, and Abhishek knows this, will get an idea on the back of a cocktail napkin, and we take them there and run with it. I think that's unique. I think that's different. The fact that we can work in either one of those two worlds. And another thing I think for us is flexibility. We here are not only doing staff augmentation or only doing projects. We're very, very flexible in type of projects that we take, the type of role that we take in different projects. If someone needs just a little bit of UI UX, we've got to do that. Full project from concept to delivery, we can do that. And we can also ramp up and ramp down as needed. So a lot of times, projects come in, they need a little bit of work. MVP work, if you will, while someone goes out and gets funding. We're glad to do those. We kind of hold in place till funding's in place, then we move on and then help that client grow, their product all the way through, maturity and to market and all those things as well. Very, very flexible and willing to work with our clients in any way that we need to be able to have them succeed. So in short, I think our strategy is about combining global talent, very, very strong processes, and forward-thinking innovation that allows us to deliver solutions that aren't just cost effective, but truly impactful. And I think that's what makes Devtorium stand out for the most part.
Awesome.
So I'll flip it back to you, Abhishek, as well. From your perspective here, working with clients and innovation in your role, what do you see as our biggest differentiator?
Yeah. So as you said, I'm just going to probably second that the biggest difference is how we have structured our company in a way that we are always, looking out for the emerging technologies, cutting edge technologies. There is a whole division, there is a whole function department in our company called emerging technologies, and all they do day in and day out, and our R&D head is to find how we can write the best course possible in the least amount of time, and that's how, again, we are differentiating ourselves than anybody else, because we are nimble, we are agile, we are small, a few hundred people, 300 people. So for us, it's easy to move, it's easy to pivot, see what's working, see what's not working, whatever is not working, pivot, and then, start looking at something else. So for me, the biggest differentiator is how quickly, because of our size and the strategy and how we have organized our company in the structure, we can spot and integrate those emerging technologies: AI, low code, no code, AR, VR, different frameworks. AI has been a name of the game these days, and AI in the sense of AI agents and the communication, and then tools like Midjourney and all that stuff. So these are not just buzzwords. We are continuously building prototypes within our company. We build our own ERP, which is 100% run by AI. Asking for a vacation or approvals or the appraisals and the performance reviews, no humans involved. It's a when I was at WeWork, we ultimately, that guy became our CEO, but he was our chief automation officer, and he had a very ambitious goal that at one point he wanted to see WeWork run by robots. Again, it will never happen, but you understand where he was coming from. And I was responsible for the overall members and the employee experience, and similar values we brought in here, just to see that where we can find a, a combination of, obviously, human in the loop is never going away, but how you can maximize the value of the AI and then make those humans smart and intelligent. If you look at the role of AI and the automation, it just makes you more efficient, what we call the human engineering. And I think that's where we have done really, really well in our company. So what sets us apart is that innovation, but not just the innovation, but the innovation that aligns with your business goals. We just don't want to drop in 5 different tools just to make it like, oh, really nice, attractive and shiny. But we want to see, I'm going to do this, but what is the measurable result? What they call the SMART goals, the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Okay, what is the SMART outcome of this tool for client needs? Is it going to save cost? Is it going to help you grow revenue? Saving cost is part of software these days. Every software does ultimately one thing for you, is to automate the processes, okay, save you money. But is it going to help you with the experience? Is it going to help you with growth? Is it going to help you with cost savings that you can measure? And then you're going to design the solution, that way. So the blend of the innovation, the organization, how we are structured in the company, cost efficiency, a very personalized boutique care, and the enterprise level sophistication and the delivery, I think that's how we differentiate. We have these enterprise level best practices. We have the agility and the nimbleness of a small company. We have the best talent available, which is always looking out for the best technologies. And then we have this care, the culture, that comes with the, as part of our DNA. So I think that's where, we are unique. You and I are the living examples, of that combination of 4 and so many other clients that we have, So we are not just building a software for you, we are moving your business forward and upward. So that's really the true value in our organization. Okay, so now we are at the midway, and I hope everyone is enjoying our conversation. So please do not forget to follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube, or whatever platform, streaming platform you are listening to this podcast or watching this podcast. Look at our case studies, look at some of the examples, how we have helped other companies, and just talk to us, and then maybe we can show you some of these samples that we built. And again, I have not forgotten about that Easter egg. So it's coming. Just be patient. Okay. Now, so obviously we are not perfect. We are improving every day. We are improving our processes. We are improving, the culture, company. There is a continuous improvement all around. What is it that you are working on, Tom, today? One area which stands out to you, where we can still improve strategically, as an organization, as how we are, structured. Our clients are saying that, guys, maybe you could be better in this area versus the other areas. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the core of my job, right? Is strategy and direction in my role today. And I think that, one area that we can improve strategically is really deepening our presence in the U.S. market. We built an incredibly strong foundation with with our development centers in Ukraine and a proven track record across industries in both Europe, U.S. and Europe. But I still think there's room for us to be more visible and more proactive here at home. Whether that's through expanding our sales presence, forming a stronger partnerships, or creating new services models that may meet client needs exactly where they are. And I think one thing we've already taken some steps there is, increasing our marketing activities, increasing our sales processes and our sales teams, if you will, to kind of penetrate some of these different areas. At the same time, we're working, expand that into the U.S. more than it already is today. We have a lot of clients in the U.S. We have a lot of clients in Europe as well. I want to continue to grow our client base in Europe. We've established really strong relationships there, but we see opportunity to scale further, by combining our technical expertise and a stronger local presence in Europe too. That means engaging more directly with European clients, building trust on the ground there. Why not? We're there, right? And
Yep.
adapting to specific needs of each different market.
Yep. Yep.
So for me, the next stage is really about balance, expanding our U.S. footprint, deepening our European partnerships, so Devtorium can keep growing globally without losing, the close people first approach that has always, set us apart from anyone else that's out there.
And what's really interesting is that we don't just have clients from the Western Europe or the US, which is a typical, market for an Eastern European company, but we have clients in Eastern Europe as well,
We do.
and a very, very big client. We are not going to take the names or whatever, but they are one of the biggest banks and they are building a huge Amazon kind of platform. And they
Major
came to us
project, yes.
because they understand our value. They know how entrepreneurial we are. And we are not just impractical, unrealistic architects. We are,
Right.
yes, as an architect, you gotta be a little bit unrealistic. You gotta be a little bit impractical, but then you also have to build something real, so they came to us and we are building this product. I'm super happy about that one, super excited about what we are building, which is going to be a product that brings, some thousands and thousands of, or even millions of, sellers and the buyers on one platform. And you guys know what I'm talking about. So Tom, great point that you mentioned. Let's also talk about this culture. We talk about this culture, and we are so proud of that culture. We talk about the Switzerland model, the Canton model. How everyone is equal in our company, and the unlimited vacations. Everyone has equal votes. All that stuff. Tell us more about taking care of people. What do you mean as a CEO?
Sure. I think the folks that are listening to the podcast here and can feel the passion, right, and that we have for our people. And for that reason, I think we take even more steps to take care of these folks, right? And when we talk about taking care of our people, we mean it in the broadest sense. It's our employees, our clients, even the communities that we touch. It's not just our people. It's whoever we touch and whoever the company is involved and engaged in. For our employees, it means really just creating an environment where they feel supported, they feel valued, and they feel respected. We know that when people feel secure and they feel like they've been heard, they do their best work. That's why we put emphasis on, fair compensation, professional growth. That's how we maintain people as long as we do. And building teams where, collaboration is encouraged rather than forced. And I think, Abhishek had mentioned before, listen to our meetings, our project meetings, and just the collaboration, not only between the people on the team, but with the clients and the clients' employees as well. It's really a great process. For our clients as well, taking care of people means listening very, very carefully, being transparent. We've talked about that quite a bit, and never treating them just as transactions. I mean, we really treat people like they're partners for us. We want people to feel confident they can trust us, and they should be able to trust us. They've got very critical projects that are typically, driving their business and their success as well. And they can count on us to really deliver on these and deliver that with integrity. Finally, as CEO, it means taking care of the people behind the company, our families, communities, not just our people, but their extended families. The reason they come to work every day is to take care of their families and take care of their communities. We're there for them as well. Many of our team members are in Ukraine, for example, and they've had a very challenging time in the last several years. And that's really just been a priority for us, is to deal with that changing environment and try to help wherever we possibly can and do what we can as best we can. So taking care of people is about building, real relationships in a culture of trust. If we can get that right, the business side will always follow. So Abhishek, from your perspective, being very close to our teams and our clients, I know you spend a lot of time in team meetings and design meetings and marketing meetings. You spend a lot of time with our folks. What motivates people the most at Devtorium, you think?
Yeah. So, as I said, there are a few things that I'm going to talk about, both which I saw as a client of Deftorium, and then I see every day is the ownership. Everyone has they are not just the transactional owner of that the work they are working on, but they feel they own the company, they own the processes. Everyone feels, not just feels, they actually has a voice in the company. And I will give you some examples, some funny and then some emotional. So for example was one time in 2021, right after COVID, I went to Ukraine. I was in Lviv, and I everybody knows I love coffee, I love chocolates, I love all these candies and everything. And Lviv is an amazing place. I think coffee was invented for humans in Lviv. Before that, it used to be a camel food. Humans did not drink coffee. So I went, some guy, Yuri something, he was the guy. And I went to that mine, and, there is a picture and everything. No, anyway, coming back. So
Interesting.
I love that coffee. I love the chocolate, the dairy. I think coffee, in generally speaking, in Europe is amazing. And Lviv was great. So I go to the office, and there is no chocolate. I said, guys, what happened? And you go, earlier I used to go, they will feed you chocolate every day. There is like chocolate in all the conference rooms. There is a chocolate in the kitchen and everything. So I'm just running around looking for chocolate and all that stuff. So they said, we don't have a chocolate anymore. I said, what happened? They said, well, one of our team members, he was gaining weight, so we had a voting, and not having a chocolate in the office, that's the option that we won, so there is no more chocolate. I said, guys, what the hell is going on? Like, do you have like voting even for the chocolate, like whether you so that is the, but again, if you, it sounds funny, but look at the value. They did not care that I was there as as one of the partners, executives in the company. If there is no chocolate, there is no chocolate. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay. So as much as, so I actually asked for another vote. Okay, guys, I'm here, let's have one more vote. They said, no, we cannot have another vote. Once you have a vote, that vote stands good for 1 year. So only after 1 year, there will be next vote where we will reconsider having chocolates in the office. So something as small as this, all the way to, there is a performance valuation for me. There is a performance, valuation for you and for our founders. So it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has to perform. Everyone has an equal voice, and everyone needs to be convinced. So sometimes, democracy has its own, merits, and sometimes, it may slow things down. So sometimes, we have to make different choices. But that showed me, how amazing or how different, interesting, because I came from, two different countries, and corporate America, and very small tenure I had in my home country, India. But Ukraine was a whole different culture, the how you work with them, and, the ethics, the value, the fearlessness that stood out. And in fact, I will mention this, in 2017, I had a partner in Spain and in Mexico. They were my value-added reseller of my Fusion, and they were promoting my product in all the Spanish and the Portuguese-speaking countries. So I went to Madrid, and I had several press conferences. They are on my LinkedIn, and you guys are welcome to watch that. And there was this guy, Roberto Nordic, and he said, Abhishek, you come from India. You have spent so much time. India is known for its outsourcing. What is the reason? Like, you have built all of your companies and all the outsourcing as a CTO, and now as a co-founder and CEO, whatever, in Ukraine. And now you are, that time I was with Fusion, there was no Deftorium. And I said, two different cultures, and this is the culture that I connect better than the other. I love that, that fearlessness in the people. I love that ownership. I love those. Again, I'm absolutely not disrespectful to any country or any culture, but this is what connected with me better, where I want people to challenge me. I want people to push me because I move fast. I move with a lot of passion. And many a times I'm wrong. But if somebody is not telling me I'm wrong, I'll just keep on going until I fall, beyond the edge of the cliff. So I want somebody to stop me, and that's where I found working with Ukrainians so refreshing. And I was not alone. I found tons and tons of, of my friends and colleagues and family or whatever who looked at these values in the same way that I was looking at. So there is that. So coming back to, I was talking about, I love these, these small, anecdotes and these stories, because every story has a big, meaning behind it. So that was that. There was no need for a micromanagement. All they needed is the assistance, the guidance, the mentor, the end mentoring. If you have an idea, if the team members have an idea, we are going to listen. You listen to them all the time. I listen to them all the time. Sometimes those ideas are awful. Sometimes those ideas are amazing. Look at our website. What it used to be 5 years ago. What did you look? We are turning our website almost like an e-commerce, transaction website. So there is a lot of recognition. We have an environment where your hard work is not going to go unnoticed. First of all, we are not 20,000 employees. We are a few hundred people. Okay. So when we celebrate, these big projects, when there are losses, there are wins, we all participate. We talk about new technologies. We encourage our members to go out and get certifications, learn different technologies, try projects, whether you are on a bench or not on a bench, whether you have a project or you don't have a project. We want you to be best in class, best in class in your technology, best in class in your life, and we will help you, support you in whatever way we can. And we do it all the time. So that's honestly the reason. I have known some people here, this is these days, nobody retires from one company. Back in the days, my dad's time, people used to work for the same company 40 years and they will move on. I did not stick in any company more than 4, 5, 6 years. Okay. For only good reasons. Okay. So I don't expect people to retire, but if you look at the longevity of our employees and the people in our company, they stick around. There are some people who have been around since 2009. There are some people who have been around. We have some clients who have been around since 2013. Clients, who have been with us for last 12, 13, 14 years. So that shows the value that unless there is a huge reason, and obviously we'll wish them well, but people, stick around. People, they are having fun. Even in such a challenging time, they are sticking around. We as a company, we as even individuals, we are helping and making sure our people are safe and, and healthy and still be able to, make a difference. So that's really my answer. Okay, so now it's time for the Easter egg that I have been talking about for last 200 hours. Okay, so let's. Okay, so listeners, I hope you are still listening to this conversation, and I hope you are really enjoying, and I hope you can see the passion, the sparks, in my eyes. And Tom is our Southern gentleman; he doesn't move around that much that I do. So here is the promotion code. It's podcast dev 200. Podcast dev 200. Write it down, put that into our contact us form on our website, or schedule a meeting with me using my Calendly or our team members or with Tom. Talk to us. See if you have, you want to see our expertise in cybersecurity, in mobile app, building a custom software development, e-commerce website, whatever the case may be, anything that is software, anything that is 0 and 1, we are amazing at it. Okay. Write that code down, talk to us. We'll help you. We'll help you with some samples that we'll build for you. And if you like to move forward, continue working with us. If you don't, that work is yours. Okay. So that's $200 Amazon gift card, podcast dev 200. All right. So Tom, we are moving towards the, end of this conversation.
Yes, I'd like to. I'll interject in there for a second.
Okay.
So, we talk about the the promo code and the podcast, and as a IT professional and then on to executive later in my career, I never liked talking to vendors. It was like pulling teeth. I didn't want to go through it. I didn't want to look at a PowerPoint. I just didn't want to do it. It wasn't a great use of my time. But I would encourage folks out there maybe listening or thinking about doing a project or needing some, staff augmentation, have a conversation with us. It's just a conversation. I promise there's no PowerPoint involved.
Right.
Our pre-sale team does a really, really good job. And you've heard Abhishek and I talk about culture and people, and they're very direct. They'll ask questions, they'll listen. And once they get the information that they need, they go off into their team meetings and they ask themselves questions and they come back with a really great proposal. And Abhishek, you've seen several of those, but they're detailed. The price is in there. It really can take you from that, cocktail napkin concept to what a real project looks like. It's a good process. I promise it's not painful. So, give us a shot, hit the contact form, call us, LinkedIn, what have you. It'll definitely be worth your while.
Yeah.
That said, I'm gonna go back to the question you just answered, Abhishek, earlier. We talk a lot about culture. I'm wondering how you feel about it, but I feel like maybe a lot of our clients, stay with us long because of the culture. Any thoughts on that point?
100%. And, it's not just the culture. They see how actually, and again, another example. When in 2014, when I was building, when I, raised the money and, I raised my seed round from a family which built computers, IBM, the grandson was my Tom Watson's, grandson. He was my investor, my partner, and I was looking for a really good outsourcing partner. And I asked, and I knew Devtorium. So I went to my wife. I said, this is that. And, I'm looking for somebody. She said, talk to Ted. And I said, and two things she told me. She said, amazing talent, they pay them really well, and a great culture. I said, wow, this is like such a, and when, a reference comes from your own wife, how could you say no, So, so we talk about the reference. Look at what reference I got. My wife, she's the one who had been to Ukraine almost like 10, 15 times by 2014. She was there almost, 2, 3 months. And, I never liked her traveling because the whole house was mess and everything. But, she, she came back and, she used to just praise, songs about how well, they come, and the CEO of the company, comes and, picks her up at the airport, and then she goes there and they make sure that she's safe. And as a female, and they will feed you, all kind of, good food, and people are amazing. And, and somehow she heard somewhere that people are happy for a couple of reasons. They are valued, they get paid really, really well. So they are, so all that stuff. So I think, so that was, reference that pushed me to, in a good way to Deftorium. And I think people stay with us, back in the days, even now. I think they see how genuine we are. I think it's genuinity, the honesty cannot be masked. The truth cannot be masked. Truth doesn't have, you can't, there is a famous poem that, truth is fixed in size. It doesn't extend, it doesn't shrink. But the lie can be extended, shrink, collapse, whatever, because it has no boundaries. So I think that's really the truth. The truth of our company is how honest our employees are, how nicely we have taken care of them, or they were always taken care of. We are genuine, we are fearless. We talk in zeros and ones. Either we do this or we just cannot do this. There is never any kind of a fake or the false, deadline or whatever. If you are being told that this would be done, it would be done. So when people see that kind of value, uh, they see, oh, this is a company which, good or the bad, but they're just going to be genuine. And that's the true value they see in working with us. And I call it a partnership, call it a vendor. I just call it a relationship. We are not sitting in next room with you, but we are literally that team for you, who you can trust, who you can, rely on. So that's really it. I nothing more, nothing less.
Sure.
All right. So I already mentioned the podcast. I already the code. I hope people are going to follow us. After the first podcast, we had a very good following. We got several hundred, actually close to 1,500 views and many following. So I hope we continue building that channel for us where people are getting the value out of this conversation, not just listening to two guys talking about their own company. So Tom, let's move towards the end of this conversation. If you had to summarize Deftorium in one sentence for somebody who doesn't know who Deftorium is, people know auditorium, people know, sanatorium. So what is Deftorium? What would it be? Tell us what Deftorium is.
There's a very good reason why you run marketing and I run sales. I'm not much on tagline guys, right? Putting these things together, but I did spend some time on this question just to get it out there. And I'd summarize this in one sentence. I usually end up making a paragraph out of it, but Devtorium is an AI-powered software partner that delivers measurable outcomes driven by people come first culture. I'm gonna sneak a second sentence in here as well, though. I think we're proof that outsourcing doesn't have to feel transactional. With us, it feels like you've extended your own team and really created a partnership. Use that word a lot, but a partnership versus a transaction.
Perfect. I have a follow-up question for you. And now we are wrapping up. Share some advice for our listeners, things that you have learned from your experience that could help. Now we are not talking about Deftorium. We are talking about just your experience. Well, the other, peers of yours, CTOs, IT heads, whatever the titles are, people who are responsible for running IT, from your experience, how they could help others in the IT sales and the client management.
Sure. If I had to give one piece of advice, it's not just technology driven, almost in life or almost any industry, though, it would be that relationships always outlast transactions. Whether it's IT sales, client management, people don't just buy code, they buy trust, communication, and they buy confidence that, whatever you say you're going to deliver, you'll deliver it. Second of all, don't try to be everything to everyone. Focus on where your team, truly shines and lean into that strength. Clients really respect honesty, more than just a generic promise. Yes, we can do that, but really mean that and honest about that question. Finally, and probably most importantly, never stop listening. The best opportunities come from the pitch you practice, but from the problem the client mentions offhand at the end of the phone call. Just listening to what are you saying? What are you really saying? Or what do you see? What do you feel? Just listen to clients, listen to your people, listen to your friends. If you can hear that and you care enough to act on it, you'll stand out every single time.
Amazing. That's great. All right. So that brings us to the end of the episode 2 of the Deftorium podcast. What value, former clients of Deftorium saw in the company. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Tom, thank you so much for joining today and sharing your insights.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. It was a real pleasure. I really enjoyed the conversation and hope our listeners found it valuable as well.
To our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this conversation and got a better sense of what makes us Deftorium unique, the value that we bring to our clients, the way we shape our strategy, and the way we take care of our people, our culture, and that keeps both our people and the project thriving. And don't forget, today's Easter egg promotion code is podcast dev 200. Use it in our contact form. The link is in the description of this podcast on the YouTube or whichever channel you are listening it on. Share it with our sales manager and you will receive a $200 gift card along with a free consultation with our experts. If you liked what you heard today, please follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever podcast platform. We are on Spotify. We are going to be in Audible, I think the beginning of the year. So for all the future episodes, just follow us. We'll be back soon with more stories, more insights, more fun conversations, something that will matter. So thank you again for listening, and we will see you next time. Thank you.